Ooh, full moon. Catching the moon going down. Walking the dogs. Starting the day out. So what's going on, guys? I lost the day yesterday, but we're back today. So we're gonna go paint a car today, a Nova. Going out to the Hydra dippers to do that for them. And I'm gonna do a little field trip. So we'll have some fun today. That cat's not having fun. Doesn't like dogs very much. Let's go in here and start the day. Get things rolling here. Oh, man. Gotta put this together this morning real quick. Alright. Gonna drive my bug out there. It was out in Pearson. So gonna go for a little road trip. Put some guns together. Gonna be painting this Nova blue. So we're gonna be checking that out. Be pretty cool. Paint somebody's Nova anyway, right? So yeah, I'll bring that to you. We're gonna do a little field trip. I'm gonna shoot some silver sail clear, and I believe it's gonna be a solid color blue. But I gotta finish putting the bug together here. Put the tire back on. Adjusted my wheel bearings there, and look at the valve adjustment. I adjusted the valves. I've been trying to tighten the valve adjustment as tight as I can get it, and I'm down to 3/1000, and it's running pretty good on the street. But I do stay on top of the valve adjustment. I set them at 0 lash on my race car. I hate valve train noise. I can't stand it. So rocker arm geometry is pretty important, and proper length push rod and all that stuff if you want to quiet the valve train down. But the quieter you get it, the more dependable it is also. So noisy valve train is just a breakdown waiting to happen. Something got missed if they're really loud. Somebody was asking about oil weight on this car. Oil sort of personal preference, you know. Anytime we debate oil, gets pretty heated. People have their opinions about oil, but best thing to do is have a gauge, you know, measure the heat of the oil at least. Some synthetics don't have the ability to soak heat up. That's their selling point, you know. They don't get heat soaked, and you know, you do get better protection to your bearings that way. Obviously, the oil's cooler, you know, it's going to have better bearing life. But being that a Volkswagen utilizes the oil to cool the motor, it has to be able to grab the heat and release the heat in the oil cooler. So if you have a product that doesn't get heat soaked, it can't pull the heat from the motor and the parts and release it in the cooler, then synthetic might not be the way to go in a Volkswagen in an air-cooled situation. Now when you have the water cooling the motor, and you know, you're just depending on the oil to support your bearing life, then by all means the synthetic oil might be the way to go. This little cat here, little Neil cat. Hey. Little boots there. Anyway, synthetic oil, you know, might be something that you want to experiment with, but maybe not trust right off the bat with the Volkswagen, you know. Look at your gauge. You want to monitor your oil pressure and your oil temperature when you go to synthetic oil, because like we talked about, a lot of times it doesn't have the efficiency to pull the heat out of the motor because it doesn't soak heat up like regular motor oil. And the Volkswagen uses the oil to cool the motor. The other issue that you'll run into with synthetic sometimes is that it's very thin on the viscosity. And I think you can't compare a 2050 weight synthetic to a 2050 weight regular oil. They're going to be different in viscosity. Even though they use similar numbers, you'll see an oil pressure drop in the motor. If you're going to build a synthetic motor, you know, well, the clearances have to be set a little tighter, obviously. You know, there's less oil clearance if you're going to use a thinner product. So from experience in the past, I just don't mess with the synthetic oils. We've used them on a lot of customer cars, not scooters, and never really found one that's happy in a Volkswagen. They always seem to run a little hotter. So usually your oil temperature goes down and your cylinder head temperature goes through the roof, and that's why I don't use it. I like to use the Valvoline or the Kendall or some Brad Pen, are all good oils. I don't have a container, I just changed the oil in this, but Volkswagens do employ a flat tappet cam. They're not a hydraulic, they're not a roller, and the problem with that is you have to have protection. You know, you got to have special wear protection in your oil. And a lot of times regular motor oils such as this don't have it. The Castrol is a good oil. It used to be stable, you know, so we used to use all the time at scooters. But if you're putting a new cam and lifters in there, you want to be sure you add some sort of a zinc additive, because they don't put that in the oil anymore, you know. It's an emissions thing, plugs up the catalytic converter, so they took it out and didn't tell anybody. So the guys with the flat tappet motors, you know, are falling by the wayside. But if you look at the Valvoline bottle and the Kendall bottle, it does say for flat tappet cams, it'll say it has extra zinc in it, and ZDP, zinc. Those are the pressure additives that are important in a Volkswagen, or if you have a flat tappet camshaft. So, you know, if you have a performance motor, any kind of camshaft in it at all or anything like that, you know, you might want to look into that. And oil's very, one of those things that's sort of like clear, you know. It's personal preference, whatever you prefer. But make sure you're not doing damage to your motor. Make sure it's not increasing the temperature, cylinder head temperature, any of that stuff, you know. And pick the oil that you can afford, you know. The better oils are definitely more expensive. The Brad Pen's probably one of the best Volkswagen oils around. It's the old Kendall. It's the green stuff. It works real well. So, time to feed the cats, can you tell? They're all wandering around. So anyway, hopefully that answers the oil questions and I didn't piss too many people off. But it's personal preference on the oil, you know. Brad Pen, Kendall, Valvoline, zinc additive, you know, you look for those few things and you should be fine. So that's where we're at. Let me go ahead and throw this back together. It's probably going to take me a half hour or so to get the valves adjusted and front tire back on there, and get the jack under there and let it down, and gather up some guns and take some lacquer thinner, maybe some hardener for the clear. I think they bought Slow and they're painting it in the middle of the shop. It's a little cool out today, so we'll probably take some medium hardener with us, take Secola and the GTI, and of course I'll go charge the battery up on the camera and I'll take you guys along. Maybe we'll Hydra dip something, I don't know. I took some hubcaps out there a while ago. We're gonna dip those and do something with those, and you know, just all kinds of stuff like that. I know that this guy just got into the Hydra dipping thing. I turned him on to Milo's Garage and Chris at K2 Concepts. And he went to school down in Fort Lauderdale for the Hydra dipping, and paid quite a bit of money for that school. And he's learned so much from the guys on YouTube, but he can't believe it. So the guy, K2 Concepts, has taken him under his wing and really helped him out, and they talk pretty regular, a lot of like us guys in the garage do. And he wasn't a YouTuber before he got into the dipping thing, so it's pretty cool. And definitely looking forward to taking you guys out there and introducing you to him. He's a really good guy. They build some airboats out there, and you know, Hydra dip guns and bows and knives and stuff like that. They're out in the country. And this guy owns a bunch of ferneries around me. So, really good guy. And YouTube, you know, what can you say about YouTube? The guy talks to him every night on the phone. He's mentored him, and now he's become quite the dipper. So, pretty cool stuff. All right, let me go ahead and shut this off, and we'll turn it back on in a little bit. I hope this wasn't too boring. Answered a couple questions on the oil. And yeah, throw this old girl back together and head out down the road in it. So let me go charge the battery, upload this video, and we'll load some paint guns up and we'll go paint a Nova today. Unfortunately, it's not going to be mine. So, but we'll get some practice. You know, it's been a while since I sprayed a Nova. So, all right, guys, have fun today. It's Sunday.